Welcome to our channel. We are sincerely trying to choose interesting stories, so we would really like to see your subscription.
My name is Daniel, and until very recently, I believed I was one half of a happy newlywed couple. Nancy, my wife, and I had been married just over a year, and things were going great, or so I thought. Our story begins in the crisp fall air of October, when news arrived that my Uncle Bobby had to go overseas to help with some family matters back in the old country. Now, Uncle Bobby isn't just some distant relative. He's the life of the party, the glue in our sometimes too spread out family. I've always looked up to him. He's the guy with a joke for every occasion, the king of Christmas cheer. So, the idea of him not being around for the holidays was a bummer to all of us. The family decided to throw the Christmas party early at Uncle Bobby's place. It would be a grand send-off and a chance to get the family together before schedules and life scattered us like leaves in the wind. The day of the party was perfect. Crisp autumn leaves, the scent of pumpkin spice from every corner, and a family that hadn't been under one roof in far too long. Nancy was dazzling as ever, wearing a red dress that made my heart do somersaults, just like it did the first day I met her. Things kicked off great. The sound of laughter mingled with classic Christmas tunes, and the exchange of colorfully wrapped gifts added to the festive mood. I remember thinking as I watched Nancy charming the socks off everyone how lucky I was. But as the evening wore on, I couldn't shake off this gnawing feeling in my gut. Nancy, with her infectious laugh and easy smile, was getting touchy more than usual, and not with me. She laughed a little too hard at Uncle Bobby's jokes, touched his arm every chance she got, and kept pulling him into conversations. At first, I chalked it up to the booze. We were all knocking back the eggnog pretty hard. I thought maybe she was just trying to make him feel good before his trip, but then they disappeared. I was in the middle of a conversation about the latest sports debacle when I realized I hadn't seen Nancel in a bit. Uncle Bobby was also MIA. A little alarm bell rang in the back of my head, and I excused myself to go find my wife. Now, I wish I could tell you I found them in an innocent situation, that this feeling inside me was just unwarranted jealousy. But when I found them tucked away behind the venue in the dim glow of those cheesy Christmas lights, my world shattered. They were kissing, not a peck, not a goodbye kiss, a full-on passionate, only in rom-coms kind of kiss. I saw red. I actually think my vision tinted. I stormed over, pulled Uncle Bobby off, and without thinking, my fist connected with his face. It wasn't my proudest moment, but damn it, I was seeing my wife in another man's arms. The ride home felt like the longest journey of my life. Nancy was sobbing and pleading with me, insisting it was a mistake, that the alcohol and emotions of the night got to her. However, all I could hear was the haunting echo of that kiss, the betrayal. I remember sitting on our couch, the silence of the house suffocating me, while Nancy walked in with her makeup smeared from tears. She tried to reason with me, saying,
Daniel, please, let's talk about this.
her voice hoarse, but there was nothing to discuss. Talk about what, Nancy? How you kissed my uncle? On what planet is there an explanation that makes that okay? My voice was colder than I intended, the frost coursing through my veins.
Daniel, it didn't mean anything. It was stupid, and I'm so sorry.
She pleaded. Sorry doesn't cut it. You crossed the line. How can I trust you after this? The word divorce hung in the air, unspoken but heavy as lead. She reached for me with desperation in her eyes, but I couldn't bear her touch. Don't. Just don't. That night, Nancy left, and I sat there surrounded by silence and the ghost of Christmas cheer, feeling nothing but numbness. The next few days were a blur, with my phone buzzing incessantly with calls from family members seeking explanations, apologies from Nancy, and even a groggy, remorse-filled message from Uncle Bobby, who sounded like he'd just gone 10 rounds with his conscience and lost. I couldn't face any of it, not yet. When I finally picked up the phone to call my mom, the disappointment in her voice felt like a knife twist.
Daniel, honey, I don't know what to say. I'm so sorry.
She offered. I rubbed my forehead, feeling a headache brewing. I know, Mom, What am I supposed to do? She sighed, the kind that carried years of wisdom I wished I could inherit on the spot.
You take the time you need to figure things out. We love you both, but this is something between you and Nancy. You'll know what's right for you.
Those words didn't make the next step any clearer, but they gave me permission to sit with my feelings without judgment. The divorce word, that heavy laden thing, started taking shape into action. I met with a lawyer, and so with a heavy heart I called her Nancy. The word thickened in my throat as I heard her reply,
Daniel.
her voice a whisper, a lifeline. Taking a deep breath, I conveyed, I'm going to send over the divorce papers. We can't come back from this. There was a pause, a silent scream in the void.
I understand. I'm so sorry, Daniel. I'll sign whatever you send. I wish I could take it back.
She uttered. I pinched the bridge of my nose, closing my eyes. I know you do, but wishing doesn't change what happened. We hung up, and I sat there, the weight of my decision anchoring me to the couch. I felt grief, anger, loss, but underneath it all was a faint glimmer of relief. It was over, or at least it would be once the ink dried on those papers. Christmas came and went in a blur. I avoided family gatherings, unable to face the questions, the pitying looks, the whispered speculations. Instead, I took a solo trip to the mountains, finding solace in the silence of the snow-covered peaks. And now, here I am, typing this out. I'm not sure why, maybe as a cautionary tale, maybe just a vent to the void. The divorce is in progress and the days are getting a little brighter. I've learned the hard way that sometimes love isn't enough to fix everything, and that's a tough pill to swallow. I've had a lot of time to think, and I've realized that forgiveness isn't just for the person who wronged you, it's for you too. I'm working on that part slowly. As for Uncle Bobby, I haven't spoken to him since. That bridge is burnt to cinders, and I'm okay with that. Some actions have irreparable consequences, and I've got to live with that. So there you have it, Reddit. My tale of woe. Not the cheeriest of holiday stories, I know, but it's mine. Thanks for listening. Update. Well, Reddit, just when you think you've started to navigate the choppy waters of a pending divorce life, or in this case, my soon-to-be ex-wife Nancy decides to throw you a curveball. I'm typing this with a mix of frustration and disbelief because, honestly, you can't make this stuff up. So last Thursday, I was sitting in my living in the room, the same one where I had made the decision to end my marriage. I tried to find some semblance of peace amid the legal storm that is divorce court. I've been striving to keep things as civil as possible, and I won't delve into the nitty-gritty of court proceedings here. That stuff is serious, and I respect the process too much to air it out on the internet. But this isn't about court. This is about what happened after. I'm sitting there flipping through the channels without really watching anything when I hear this noise outside, a kind of thudding sound. My first thought is that neighborhood kids are playing baseball, and my house is somehow first base. I wish that were the case. I peek out the window, and there's Nancy, looking like a storm cloud in human form, hurling what looks like a garden gnome through my front window. Glass shatters, and my heart rate skyrockets because, well, that's not exactly a daily occurrence. Nancy, what the hell? I shout, racing to the door.
You never listened to me, Daniel. Maybe now you'll hear me out.
She screams back, tears streaming down her face as she picks up another unfortunately doomed lawn ornament. At this point, I'm more worried about her hands than the window. Those gnomes aren't soft, Nancy. Stop. Let's talk about this, but not like this. You're going to hurt yourself. It's like I've hit pause on the chaos. She hesitates, the fight draining out of her as she realizes this isn't the way to go about, well, whatever she was trying to accomplish. The police show up because of course, the neighbors called them at the first sign of domestic gnome warfare. They're asking if I want to press charges, and there's Nancy, a mess of regret and broken ceramic pieces. Despite everything, I can't press charges. I can't add more fuel to this dumpster fire of a situation. Nancy and I talk with the officers. She's sobbing apologies, and they're giving me that look. You know, the
Are you sure you don't want us to take her in?
look. But I shake my head. After the officers leave with stern warnings and an incident report that's probably going to read like a bad sitcom script, I'm left with Nancy and the wreckage. The anger's gone from her eyes, replaced by this hollow remorse. Why, Nancy? It's the only question I can muster.
I just wanted you to listen,
She says.
to hear how sorry I am one last time.
I sigh, running a hand through my hair. I've heard you, Nancy, every message, every apology. But this, I gesture to the broken window, isn't the way we clean up the mess. In silence, I tell her the divorce is still happening. She nods, says she knows, and she'll stop fighting it. We part ways with a chasm of words left unspoken, and now I've got a boarded up window reminding me of the chaos that used to be my life. I've got friends patching me up with promises of beer and basketball games, but right now I just feel tired, so there it is. Another chapter in this saga that's become my life. Divorce is a wild ride, folks. Strap in and maybe hide the garden gnomes just in case. Jesus, man, this poor guy. And what the hell is Uncle Bobby's deal? I mean, shouldn't families stick together and not sleep with each other's wives? Anyways, let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled Threads.